to the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for Tuesday, September 19th. Over the next few days, we'll definitely have a change in the weather across the Great Basin as a series of cold fronts continue to move through the Great Basin, dropping down from the north. Today we will see showers and thunderstorms develop anywhere from western and central Nevada eastward into southeast Idaho, Wyoming, and the northern portion of Utah. We'll also have some gusty winds today, along with some lower relative humidities, generally between about 12 and 18% across central and eastern Idaho. So despite the recent cold front, we did not really bring in much moisture to Idaho yet. However, we will see those conditions change as we move through Wednesday and Thursday, and we see more widespread precipitation over the northern half of the Great Basin. As temperatures drop with the cold front, we will also see higher elevation snowfall move into at least central and eastern Idaho and Wyoming, and then potentially further south by Thursday. On Wednesday and Thursday, ahead of the strongest cold front, we will see these gusty winds and drier conditions over parts of eastern Nevada into Utah. So again, we will see some critical conditions. If we happen to get a start in some of these areas, we could see a period of growth with the winds for a burning period or so. Precipitation over the last 24 hours has generally been light, but we have seen plenty of thunderstorm activity, especially across the eastern half of Utah, which is where the precipitation was a little bit heavier in spots. And then we saw some more widely scattered thunderstorms along the Sierra front and also over parts of Nevada up into Idaho. Yesterday there were reported 17 new fires for just over 10 acres and mostly occurred with the lightning that we saw in Utah. Over the last 7 to 14 days, we've seen generally below normal precipitation across the Great Basin, but very dry conditions over northwest Nevada up into central and parts of southern Idaho along the Snake River Plain, and also even further south into Nevada and Utah. Just some pockets of above normal precipitation with the thunderstorms that were pretty spotty. Our current ERCs are generally still below the 50th percentile, but we have seen ERCs continue to climb to above the 50th percentile over the northern third of the Great Basin as we've seen a more prolonged period of warmer and drier conditions. Some of our ERC charts in our drier spots, the Snake River Plain ERCs have now reached near normal, and we're even seeing near normal ERCs over parts of the Uinta Basin in eastern Utah that did not receive some of the showers and thunderstorms, but moisture will continue to increase, so we expect these ERCs to drop. The satellite loop from this morning shows the first cold front that swung through the northern portion of Idaho over the last 24 hours has now moved into Montana, but a much stronger area of low pressure will be dropping south out of Canada and Alaska into the northwest, and this is what will be impacting the Great Basin for the rest of the week. So today, our weather pattern, you can see the moisture for thunderstorms anywhere from western and northern Nevada eastward. Again, will be similar in coverage to what we saw yesterday. So significant fire potential is really generally low region-wide, but we'll call it low to moderate in areas that we will see some gustier winds and drier conditions. So over parts of southern and eastern Idaho, and then eventually down into parts of eastern Nevada, western Utah, and eastern Utah as we go into Wednesday. So relative humidity generally will be in the teens region-wide, some areas in the 20s where we'll see those thunderstorm activity. And then today, again, the winds will be picking up in Idaho. Most gusts will be in the 20s to around 30 miles per hour, but we could see a few of those wind gusts perk up above 30 miles per hour. And again, in those areas where we'll see those gusty winds, we will see relative humidity kind of in the 15 to 20% range today. Otherwise, down south, more breezes in the teens and low 20s over southern areas of the Great Basin with relative humidity also in the teens. Temperatures today will continue dropping. We'll see highs only reach the 60s in central Idaho, 70s for southern Idaho. Still remain warmer today further south for one more day. Then as we move into Wednesday, this area of low pressure really drops south into the Pacific Northwest, pushing that cold front over the northern third of the Great Basin. So much colder temperatures, additional showers and thunderstorms, and decreasing fire potential. Relative humidity will take a little bit of time to drop, but as that precipitation develops, we'll see that relative humidity increase later in the day. And then our gusty winds combined with lower relative humidity will occur over parts of eastern Nevada into western Utah, and then also over eastern Utah, where we could see those wind gusts increase above 35 or even 40 miles per hour on Wednesday. Temperatures again continue to drop on Wednesday. We'll see highs only in the 50s in the far north. Again, still another warmer day with highs in the low 80s over much of Nevada and Utah and 90s in the far south. By Thursday, this area of low pressure finally drops further south into the central areas of the Great Basin, so continued widespread showers and thunderstorms and some wetting rain, and again a decrease in fire potential further south on Thursday. Relative humidity will really see an increase on Thursday, with most areas over the northern half of the Great Basin remaining above 30%. The drier conditions, however, combined with the gusty winds on Thursday, will be pushed further south and mainly impact southern and eastern areas of Utah for one more day. Temperatures really start to drop finally on Thursday over the northern half of Nevada into northern Utah, where highs will reach generally the 60s. And then our coldest overnight lows will be Wednesday night through Friday night, and we'll see overnight lows near freezing in the lower elevations, possibly up in Idaho, but really in the high elevations is where we'll dip down to near freezing or even in the 20s. And we could see these 20s even as far south as the Uintas or parts of northeast Nevada in the higher elevations. So these are the areas, again, that we will see some new snowfall if the precipitation occurs during these colder temperatures. Overall forecast amount of precipitation for the next few days, you can see obviously the heaviest amounts of wetting rains will be over eastern and northeast Nevada up into Idaho, Wyoming, and far northwest Utah, with more spotty precipitation elsewhere. As we go into Friday, this cold front continues to push eastward, so continued moisture up in the north, still drier and breezy down south with low fire potential, and our maximum temperatures remain cool on Friday. Going into Saturday, we'll see this low finally move off to the east with ridging over the Great Basin, so still low fire potential, but we will see those temperatures start to increase a little bit starting Saturday with highs back in the mid to upper 70s over parts of Nevada, still in the 60s over Utah and further north. And then by Sunday, potentially another area of low pressure pushes in, bringing us moisture to the north. And temperatures, again, kind of remain similar to Saturday. And then by Monday, this low starts to lift northeast, still keeping some moisture north across Idaho. And temperatures kind of remain warmer down south and still remain cool with the breezy conditions up north. Really not much change to the 7-day total precipitation, just a little bit more of an accumulation up north. And then the 8 to 14-day outlook taking us from September 28th to October 2nd. Looks like cooler temperatures on the west side of the basin and warmer temperatures potentially on the east side. We will see any moisture moving across the Great Basin during this time period will likely be affecting mainly Idaho and Wyoming. It could dip a little bit further south, but right now models are keeping drier conditions over the southern half of the Great Basin. That concludes our webcast for today. Check back tomorrow for the latest updates.